Hi, I'm Akhil Reed Amar, and I'm a professor at Yale Law School. I'd add one thing above and beyond the fact that the framers wrote this down and it's been passed down. We have, from the beginning, an extraordinary tradition of amendments. We've made amends. In the very process of saying, yes, we accept this document, ordinary people said, but we want a Bill of Rights, which then came along. And then the system almost failed because of its complicity with slavery, and so we had to rebuild it after the Civil War with the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. Women come along and say, what about us? And so they get added to the project. So I would say it's an intergenerational project. It begins audaciously 225 years ago. We, the people of the United States, do ordain and establish. More folks got to vote on this document than had ever gotten to vote on anything before in human history. It begins in an extraordinarily democratic way for its time. Remarkable free speech up and down the continent. For a year, people can speak out in favor of it or against it. No one dies in that year. Compare that to the French Revolution or the American Revolution or what's happening today in the Middle East and elsewhere. So it begins in an extraordinarily democratic way, but it's only the beginning. And then for the next 225 years, we actually sort of build on it and implement it, later generations, and we amend it. And today, we inherit, in fact, really three things, I guess. The original text, all the amendatory texts added by subsequent generations, and 225 years of implementation, contestation, argumentation, interpretation. The pyramid on the dollar bill is unfinished, and maybe it will never be finished. It sort of beckons us toward the heavens, and it's very suggestive of an idea that we can build atop a foundation, but I think that pyramid will always be unfinished. The text itself has that same quality to it because we've added amendments to the end rather than word processing the things so it always looks perfect and complete. It looks unfinished. Why 27 amendments rather than 28 or 29 or 139 for that matter? Yes, this project that began 225 years ago, a project that was more perfect than what had preceded it, probably never will get to absolute perfection. That may not be given to human beings, but it is given to each generation to try to improve upon its inheritance. Let me actually read you the last sentence of the last chapter of the book. The last paragraph. If it makes sense for modern American constitutionalists to attend to words written and deeds done centuries ago to form a more perfect union, then it also makes sense for us to struggle to envision and help birth a still more perfect union centuries hence. Much of American history remains to be written, and much of American constitutional law remains to be framed. Faithful constitutionalists thus labor under a twofold constitutional responsibility. We must look backward in time and claim our constitutional inheritance, and we must also look forward in time and make our constitutional donation. Though this second responsibility does not reside on the clear surface of any explicit constitutional text, surely it forms an integral part of America's unwritten Constitution.